we're going to 3 passes, and after the 3rd pass, if you get 3 passes, then it's live, and we go to basket to score. Okay? Yeah, I can get a high five. Okay, you guys. Now, we're still going to 3 passes. Okay? You need a break, right? You need a drink. Right. Okay, like, keep drinking. Alright, you ready? Okay. So it's the same thing. Same thing, but this time after the 3rd pass, you can go to back. Live. It's a regular game. Okay? Right. Go, 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 go. So, up to now, okay, they haven't really scored or tried to score. Okay, I wouldn't do that in a regular practice. Okay, because we've been here for an hour and 20 minutes and they haven't had a shot to the basket, okay? But I was trying to show you a little bit of a progression. All I've done now, I use those as warm-up games. Okay? And sometimes as part of the main session, okay, the warm-up games. So now they're scoring. And now we moved on from what I call the games before were position and possession based. Okay? Getting to the right place, keep possession. Now, this is the same, you've got position and possession, but you've also got direction. You want to be attacking the basket at some point, yeah? And it's important that we don't forget about the direction. We need to do things for ability. Remember the bubbles, don't get too close. Okay, one more rule here for you, okay? Tadeusz, over just a second, okay? Pick you up. Now, after the 3rd pass, when we go to the basket, we can also dribble. Yeah? Okay? Go. Okay, remember we're still trying to make passes off the dribble, yeah? Alright, hold on a second, just come here for a second. Let me me ask you a couple of questions, okay? All right. Good. So, when we catch the ball, when I catch the ball and I start dribbling, we kind of dribble back to make sure that I can still see my defense. So, come and show me what I'm doing. Okay, good. So I want to be on the side here, on the head of that way. So sometimes what happens, which way do you get it? Okay, so we're catching the ball here. Okay, my teammate is there, and I'm dribbling here. So if I catch the ball here and my defender is there, maybe I need to do something more like this, so I can make that pass in my place. Okay, so with the dribble, don't just go away from the defender, but also think about where your teammate is. Try it, and let's see how it goes, okay? Okay. Ooh, nice move. All right. Come in. All right. Great job. Fine. Good. You all play for the same team? No? Okay. We're going to have a shout. Okay, what would you want to shout? Okay, and then get a quick drink and then come back. Who's gonna say 1, 2, 3? Right, drink and come back. Okay, so you guys stop there and have another quick drink, and then we're going to come back to the last game of this season, okay? So, I will typically spend, depending on the day, right? But every day I like to do at least 10-15 minutes of games like this, from under 8s to under 18s. All these passing games, I think they are really, really important all the way through. The one thing that I haven't mentioned, but happens a lot in these games, because the space is tight. Okay, because you've got to make the space tight. Okay? They have to be very aware. Where the children don't normally look, when they're trying to pass the ball to someone, who do they look at? Well, their teammate. Or really, who do they need to look at? The defender. Okay, they need to know where the defender is. Because all the turnovers happen because we don't see the defender. We only see our teammate. Our teammate is mostly, you always kind of, unless the defender is right in front of them, they look open. But they're not open. Because the defender is next to them. So these games are really good to teach them if there is, we call it light between the defender and your teammate or not. If there's no light between them, you can't make the pass. There has to be space between them. Okay, so these games are very good for that kind of thing. Because again, that is a killer in junior basketball. If you only look at your teammate, you're going to turn the ball over so many times. Okay? We call also that You know when you're learning to drive, and your instructor always says to you, check your mirrors, check your mirrors. So we always talk to the children about check your mirrors, okay? Whether, check your mirrors means look at things that are around you and around your teammates. Don't just look at yourself or your teammate. The important people that you need to know where they are is the defenders. Hopefully your teammates are going to be in the right place, okay? Because you're trying to do something together. It's the other team that's trying to spoil it, okay? So those games are really good for that. Last game of this session, okay, we're going to work towards expanding on this idea now with another directional game. We're going to use, for that group that we're working with, we're going to use that court, okay? The side court, which is a great size. And then for these guys, I always like to work with, be creative with whatever equipment I've got. So we're going to play a directional game, and we're going to use this basket and that basket. We're going to create a court with these two baskets. Not a typical court, but let's see what challenges that creates and how they solve those challenges, okay? Alright. So, are we ready? Okay. So, we got the guys that were playing 2 and 2 here, we just stand up, and the other guys just quickly just come and sit down behind the green line here. Okay. 5. Okay. Only one match. Okay. All right. Blue. Yeah, put it blue. And yellow. Okay. Dallas Mavericks. Okay. Yeah. Mini there. Okay. Okay. The Lakers. Yeah. And you have Doncic. Okay. And who's Dennis? No, wait, this is the same. Yeah. But I need to get that one. Yeah. Okay. So. All right. Let's start with something a bit wild, okay? I see what happens. To play 2 and 2, okay? But we're not allowed to dribble yet. No dribbling, okay? Okay? And you play, the 2 teams can score in any of the 3 baskets. Let me warn you, like I said this yesterday, I'm completely going, I'm flying out now without safety net, okay? I'm creating something new because of the baskets that we have and how they're placed. So they're going to be able to score in any of the 3 baskets without dribbling. And I'm going to explore it. I'm going to keep looking on it and explore it. And it could be rubbish or it could be beautiful, okay? But like I was saying yesterday, we have to try it. Okay. You ready? So we start with the jump ball here. Yeah, you throw it, okay? And remember you can score in any of the... is that fixed to the ground? Okay. I'll stay here. Okay? I'll take my pen away. Okay. In fact, can we have 2 coaches standing in front of the two posts so they don't hit themselves against their post? So to avoid them hitting their post, when they come anywhere near the kitchen, okay? And can we have another 2 coaches down there, please, if you don't mind? All right. Okay. So, alright, so we play 2v2. Okay. And so there's one team resting. Okay, and we're using this basket and that basket. So let's say the yellow team is going to start scoring in this basket, and the green team is going to start scoring on that basket. Okay, so listen to this. You can dribble, you can play normal, okay? And every basket is 2 points. But every pass is also 1 point. Ooh. And we're going to play games to 7 points. Every 7 points, a team goes off, another team comes up. Okay? They are referees and they're also safety guards, okay? So you don't hit the post, okay? Because there's no lines, they can play anywhere, okay? Okay, you here, you can score in any basket, but not, if you get an offensive rebound, if the other team shot the ball in this basket, you can't score in this one until you try one of the other baskets. Okay? Ready? Go, 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 go. Okay. Keep going. Okay, so Tadeu, give me your three, okay? And Eric, go green, and up with Richard, and you go yellow. Get a yellow ball down there. Okay, hold it. All right. Okay. Time out with your team. Okay, you've got 3 baskets, you can score in any of them. What's your strategy? To score. Okay, ready? Okay. So we put the rule about the 7, every pass is a point to encourage them to pass. It didn't work as I wanted. Okay, because they're now just focusing on getting the points through the passing and not getting the direction, which is what I wanted. Okay? So it's not working as I intended it. I'm gonna change it. Okay? Okay. Alright. Okay, this is gonna be chaos. Okay? 3 teams playing together at the same time. Okay? Now, everybody can dribble, you can bounce it. Okay, you can score in any of the 2 baskets. No, these 2. Okay? But, hold on a second. but you got a maximum of 3 bounces every time you catch it. 3 every time. Okay, go. You can score in any basket, yeah? Alright, hold it, new rule. Okay? Hold it, new rule. When you are defending the ball, hand behind your back. No, we back to normal, just scoring baskets, okay, thank you. Yeah? Hands up on the ball, hands up on the ball. Okay, hold it. New rule for you now. At the moment, you can't dribble, can you? Okay. So this time, we're gonna give you a reward. Every time you score a basket, your team ends a reward. So we play to start with no rule. If you score, from that point on, every time you finish, you can go once. Okay? If you score a second basket, every time you catch it now, you can go twice. And so, if you score 3 baskets, you just 3 balls. Okay? And if you score 3 baskets, you stop.
Mysteriöse Verteidigung.
And this time, we're going to play these 2. Okay? Only of these 2. And you score, so the 2 teams are going to score that way, and the other team that way. This is a regular game. Regular game, yeah? Good. Okay, and stop. Okay, stop. Aaron. What's the picture? Okay. All right, come in. All right. Look that way. Guys, look that way and take a bow. Take the mask. Take the feet off and hold it. We're gonna get in the middle. We're gonna shout mini basketball and 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna throw it. Okay? Eins, zwei, zwei. Okay, well done. Okay. And take the beach back on the pile there. Right. Okay? So this is something that we have to live with, okay? But if we give them permission to be children, then it's impossible. Like I was asking them now, put the beeps back in the pile there. They were not listening. But that's okay, because what I did before that didn't help. So I can't now get obsessed with them because they're not listening to me. Because it's not my fault, it's what I asked them to do, right? So, okay. So that's the first group of sessions done. So, team, I'm looking at you in terms of, are we happy to take some questions now? Or, yeah, I'm happy either way. So, if anybody's got a question, please go ahead. For those that were with me yesterday, I'm very easy with questions, okay? And I want questions as hard as possible, because I don't know if all of that worked. Okay, we've got a question there, thank you.
What do you recommend if the ratio...
Give us your name again, sorry. Andreas.
What do you recommend for the ratio? Today there were the head coach and 2 assistants for 10 kids. It's not always this ratio.
No, it's not always like that, no. Did you hear the question? The question was, what do you recommend in terms of a ratio, coach to players? Recommendation, 1-to-1, okay? But it's not always possible, Andreas, okay? So, I mean, ideally, if you want to be able to keep an eye on what's going on, because if you look at what I did there, I ended up running 2 different sessions a little bit to cater for 2 groups, okay? And I was very lucky that I had Chiara and Maggie with me, right? Because it's a big place. So that session for me, I could have done, for me, I would have, if I had 10 kids and I was on my own, I probably might not use all the space like I did now, because I was banking on Maggie and Chiara, but I would probably would have been more staying on one side so I can see everybody, okay? I mean, an ideal for me would be 2 people to 12 children. That would be great if you could. Like, so one coach to 6. Because then you can manage 3 1-on-ones, you can manage a 2-on-2 with a team resting, you can manage a 3v3. You could even go 2 coaches with 16, so you manage 8 each. But that's now starting to push it a little bit. But the reality is that you can't choose all the time. Okay? So again, yesterday when we talked, do we have the... We went through some ideas yesterday. In terms of one of the things that as coaches we need to work on or think about is the practice structure. So in terms of the structure, what I would say, Andreas, is if you know that you're going to be outnumbered, okay, and you go 1 to 20, for example, which is crazy, what happens? Okay, or 1 to 30 sometimes. If you go into a school, you're 1 to 30, okay? Then you have to think about your practice structure to manage that. And sometimes, when you got that big number, your structure will be a lot more regimented to manage a bit more, which takes away from the learning sometimes, but it's that balance between the learning and the safety. So it's something that it's just, we need to think about how many people we have, and just plan the best possible session we have while keeping it safe. And what I did today, like for example, I just went like 2 coaches there to hold that. Don't be worried about engaging the parents. Okay, if you need someone to stand there and their only job is to make sure that they don't kill each other, they don't have to do any teaching. Grab a parent, put them there. Okay, if he's going to help you deliver a better session. But it is yeah, you just have to try and get the right balance between teaching, learning, safety. But ideally, if you can, 1 to 6 is perfect. Obviously, it's not possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Anything that caught your eye? Any changes that I made? Any rules that I put in that it wasn't clear why I did it? Yep. Yeah, thanks. So for me, like I was saying, I wouldn't use all these drills in the same session. Okay, I was trying to give you an idea of different ways to work on passing, and with the main focus being on the passing. I might use one of these, or 2 at the most, and at different moments of the session, or one as a warm-up, one as a cool-down. I normally start a lot of my sessions with one-on-one, because like you say, what they want to do is shoot hoops. They are, I mean, let's be honest, okay? When I always like to do this when I do a clinic. The adults that were here early today, what were you doing while you were waiting? Shooting. No, it wasn't just any kind of shooting. What were you doing? Yeah, but where were you shooting from? From the halfway line. Okay? But, okay, now be completely honest with me. If you walk into your session and you find your 10, 9-year-olds launching it from the halfway line, what would you do and what would you say? Hey, stop, safety, come on. You could be working on your ball handling and you could be working on your perfect. You would do that, a lot of us would do that, right? But what did you do? You were shooting from the halfway line, okay? You were trying to dunk it. You were playing one-on-one against Tadeusz, okay? You were transformed into a child. Okay, so let's bear that in mind. That's why, going back to your point, I try to get them playing as soon as possible, and with very few rules. Okay, if I want to encourage some of these passing activities, then I'll put them in. Okay, but I'm very mindful, and it's difficult today because I mean credit to the boys because they kept going, but I was throwing drills at them or games at them had a lot of cognitive load, as we said yesterday. Okay, a lot of thinking that were new to them. If that was my session at my club, I believe it would be a much more child-friendly than that. When you put all those games together in one clinic like this, it's not particularly child-friendly. But if I would pick one of them or 2 of them, and then mix them with one-on-ones and competitions and stuff like that. Some of the stuff that we're going to be doing later. So in the second session, I'm going to show you some of those other games. The second session is more still teaching, but very, very lively, dynamic games, fun games, okay? And what I would do is mix and match. Always going back to the objectives of what I want to achieve, okay? But really at the end of the day, for me the biggest thing is always monitoring the eyes of the children, and the eyes tell you everything. If they're having a good time, if they're learning, if they're not. So, yeah. And then as I did today, I was making lots of changes as I was going along, trying to find the right balance for them, for the games to work. Please. I think you had a question, Anna. Any other questions? Yes, please.
How did you manage to remember all of their names? How long did it take you to remember?
It's a 5-minute job, but every time I tried to do the same with you yesterday, but there were 50 okay, last night. But I think it's super important to take time to just, like, it's so different when someone calls you by your name, okay? It's so important, it means so much to you because your name is everything to you. It's your identity. So we just had them there for 3 minutes, and we had a chat, and we asked them a couple of questions about what they like, what they dislike, have you been to Spain before, just trying to build a good relationship with them. So, because I've never seen them before, right? So So just to try and really learn their names, and that way it builds a quick relationship, and it builds a bit of trust, and honestly it's a 2-minute job. And you might forget one, and that's like it happened to me with Eric. I forgot Eric. Okay, but I think it's super important that we try and really get to that point as soon as we can. The same when we're teaching in the classroom. You know, you try and really learn the names even before they get there. If you can, if you've got pictures or something like that. But I think it's just if you're going to do one thing to build a good environment, is learn everybody's name as soon as you can. Or you can give them a badge. Okay? Exactly, you can give them I sometimes carry stickers with me. Just a sticker there, boom. And yep, do that way. Any other questions? Because I hope that gives you a flavor of what we're trying to do with the passing, but also, like I was saying to you yesterday, I ended up doing a lot of improvisation. Like from the plan that I had to what I did. Go on, sorry.
How do you think, how did it work out for you and to expect it yesterday? It wasn't that bad.
What do you think, Jenny? It was a different session to what I had planned. Okay? In the sense of, so I adapted some things to make sure that they got something out of it. I said to them down there when we were talking, my main job today is not to teach you, but to make sure that you have a good time. Okay, and that whatever we do out there is good for you. So I try to stick to the idea of passing, okay, but also be mindful. Okay, are they enjoying it? Are we getting the actual objectives that we want? At some point, do we have to get rid of that objective and just focus on them having a good time? Just finding that balance all the time, and honestly, I did that here today, but I do that all the time when I'm coaching. Remember the question that I was the question that you should be asking yourself all the time when you're coaching is, what do they need right now? Forget the plan in your phone or your notepad or whatever. What do they need right now? Because maybe you planned it wrong. Maybe they're not in the frame of mind that you were expecting them to be in. So am I happy with the session? I'm happy that I think I ended up with 2 different sessions and that I was able to differentiate a little bit and give them different things. And I'm happy that I think some of the principles that I wanted to work towards, they were in the games. Now, because I was trying to show you a few games, we moved really quickly from one to another, so I didn't do any teaching. I mean, the games taught some of the stuff, but I would probably spend, instead of 5 minutes, I might run one of them for 10 or 15 minutes and try to be a bit more specific, ask more questions like I was doing about a certain thing. So for example, in the last game there, when they were going, how do we get free? You know, what kind of space do we need to go into? How do we differentiate between a good space and a bad space? We didn't have time to get into that. So from that point of view, I didn't do as much teaching as I would have liked to do, because I was trying to move on to the next really, really quickly to give you more ideas. But I'm happy with the fact that we ended up with, I think, 2 sessions at the right level for each of them, and that I was able to challenge them differently, which is hard, as we said yesterday. Yeah. That's my own self-reflection really a little bit. But I can guarantee that when I'm on the plane tonight, I'll be like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Great. Tim, what's the plan?
Coffee break until 5 to 12.
Yeah?
10 minutes to walk the legs and have a coffee.
And then I've got until 1 o'clock, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.